Come now, all you mangy dogs. Swab the decks and hoist the sails. The guns on board be needing some proper manning. Pieces of 8 and a fine wench on your arm. If your work be not too shoddy. Careful not to flounder too badly, though, or you may have to dance the hempen jig as we see you to Davy Jones. Jeffy, my boy, on with the show.
Welcome, everybody, friends, folks, foes, and fellow pirate mateys, to yet another weekly feature edition of Pirate Radio Podcasts. It's episode number 338, Within the Caribbean Vacuum. Before we get to our special feature guest of the week, let me simply remind you that, of course, I myself, as always, am your host and trusted companion, Robin Hood's Chief Communications Officer, Jaffe Ryder. WPRPN.com is the website you'll want to drop by, take a look at. Keep in mind, sign up is free. All you simply need is a username, password, and email. If you do have any questions at that point, feel free to get back to us. We'll do whatever it takes to help smooth things over, get you sailing off in just the sort of direction you hope to be. Our email, including our PayPal, so do take note of that, PayPal, guest suggestions and show ideas you may have in mind. Pirate1radio at protonmail.com. That's pirate, the numeral 1 radio at protonmail.com. We've also got a lot of great social media links that can easily be found via the show description end of things, not least of which, of course, is our Patreon and the online merchandising end of things, where we have t-shirts, coffee mugs up for grabs. Sonia, who's joining us here this week as a co-host, has been doing a really great job via galacticfire.com. So we have a link to some of the merch that she has in place over there. Really excited about the work that she's been doing, not only in support of our efforts, but the wider independent, underground, collaborative, artistic community that we are organically working on strengthening here and building up over time. So, it's amazing with the free, at times overly impeded, but where we can manage unimpeded access to this global technology, what great work people such as ourselves really can get done. So like, comment, share. Be sure to hit the subscription, notification buttons, really important stuff, folks, and password along to your friends, family, and coworkers. If that is, of course, you support the work that we do here. And we are 100% listener supported. If not, unfortunately, all we're left with is operating straight out of pocket. And, trust me, operating in the red it's never a fun thing. So, but, all right, to the show description end of things, so people know who's connected with us here this week via Costa Rica, the one and only Within the Vacuum. WTV, a.k.a. Isaac Moraga Cordoba, is a multi-talented, forward-looking Latino visionary, pretty boy, experiencer, and social media psycho cybernaut. I'm not sure how psycho exactly, but these musician types, sometimes they do get a little out of hand. hopefully focus more on the cybernaut end of the equation than anything this go around. Founder of the W8W Creative Hub, Senór Córdoba is actively working to redefine artistic collaboration and economic sustainability in the Web3 era through the harmonious integration of artistic expression and human experience. His work bridges the realms of intellectual, emotional, physical, and spiritual. Without any further delay, let us welcome to the show Isaac and special co-host for this event out of Phoenix, Arizona, Sonny Galactic. So good to have you both.
Hello.
Yeah. Annyeonghaseyo via South Korea. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I guess I'm green at this. Apparently my screen is wanting to express that sort of thing because I don't know what happened.
I see. Oh, well, let's run with it then. Let's work with that.
Yep.
Yeah, looks good to
Running.
me. So yeah, we're rocking all over the world here right now, folks. There's no doubt about that. And there we go, live on camera. You know, give the people
Awesome.
what they want. Give them candy. So
Isaac,
Hello.
how are you?
Hello. I'm
Yeah.
fine. How are you guys?
Great.
Thank you for
Fantastic.
the space.
You've been-
and, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You've been chomping at the bit, wanting to make this happen for a while now, Isaac. Is that
Mhm.
right?
Yeah. I just, I'm a bit slow. That's the lifestyle around here. You move slowly through things, long processes and stuff. But yeah,
Sweet.
Well,
I'm here
Awesome.
finally.
we got so many people in the queue. That's the thing, is that we could have been working with the true crime duo, focusing on Vancouver's dark underbelly this week, but maybe that'll be bumped ahead till next Friday is what it currently looks like, and then of course a whole host of other shows in the queue as well. So, but it just worked out. That's the way the whole booking deal goes with these live streams. You never know who you're going to ultimately pencil in, and Sonia here has been doing a heck of a job cracking the whip, as it were, and keeping me focused and on track. It's what I need. Isaac, you can maybe testify to that as a musician, sort of artist type individual, that we can be kind of spacey sometimes and disorganized. Is that right?
Well, I've learned a lot of discipline. If you want to, develop your talent, it requires a lot of work.
That's right.
It's not just
Yeah.
right. It's not just about ability, but to commitment and to keep doing it. And it requires discipline. Yeah, definitely.
Sure.
Application.
Well, I've been learning that the hard way here, and I myself gave up, but kind of not in some ways. Yeah, just kind of hung it all up for years, music and songwriting, and only just in the last couple years have recommitted myself to saying that I'm, getting on in years, and it would be a real shame to look back on it all and not have anything to show for the time having spent here on Earth. So I'm sure you feel the same way. But let's get. I'd like to get a little bit more into your personal history. One of the big names that you bounced off of us as far as your touring history, and I'm not sure when you started out as a musician, if it was something that you were deeply immersed in as a child. Maybe, a lot of musicians, they come from families that go back generations, of course. It wasn't the case in my instant, my situation here whatsoever. But with yourself, UFO, did you actually toured with this? I mean, UFO is a major. They have been signed to a major label for years, haven't they? Like, they're pretty high profile.
The band.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't know much about that band,
I thought you
to
toured with
be
those
honest.
guys, or did you just see one and then
No,
somehow I got confused? Or
no, like I made an album with Robert Dean, who was the guitarist of the British band Japan.
I'm sorry, I got confused. Why am I thinking UFO for some reason?
I don't know.
Okay,
It's
there you
your
go. My
subconscious.
dyslexia kicking in. Yeah, well, we might be talking a little UFO at some point. One of the slides I know that you sent us, the pictures looks either it's a sun. I'm not sure if it's the moon. Either it's a sun or some strange orb, giant ball of light that you managed to capture in the sky. So, do you know the one I'm talking about? You have in the slide, Costa Rica.
No, no, show it to me. Which one?
Oh, gee.
Yeah.
Do you really? I don't know. Do we want to do that now? So,
It's another story.
tell you what. No. Go ahead. And while you're, oops. While you're, uh, kind of going into,
Introducing yourself.
well, yeah, and going into the whole
Yeah.
Japan
Synopsis.
backstory and musical roots, that I'll dig around for it here, obviously.
Sure, sure. Like, yeah, it's a family thing. I was remembering a couple of days ago that Bob Dub shared this scene from The Sound of Music, which is one of my favorite movies. And because it reminds me of my grandmother when she used to sing to us with her guitar. So yeah, and also my grandfather used to play like back in the day, and my dad is a really great composer, musician, multi-instrumentalist, inventor. My mom is a dancer. So yeah, I've been surrounded by art and music and my whole life. I started very early, first, well, my dad, he studied with a classical teacher, but he never push it into us, but uh, uh, I guess I got really impressed in very early in my life when oh, that's the moon. Yeah. So yeah, I remember I went to this concert. I was about 2 years old, and I was running around with the other kids. Because my dad also is the co-founder of a community here. Uh, that use they focus on spirituality and self-development and all of that. And so he was playing music with them. And I remember I was in that gig, and suddenly I heard my dad playing, and I went to the stage, and I could go in the front to the backstage, and I watched the drummer, and that blew my mind completely. That changed in that moment. That experience changed my life forever. The next day, I was building my own drum set with cans that my dad had in the garage,
That's so cool.
playing and being annoying for hours and hours and hours. My mom always remember about that. And yeah, since then I've been doing music basically. Then I was
Right.
playing at church,
Mm-hmm.
and we had a band with my brothers. Actually, we recorded an album. I was 11, and we recorded an EP and the National University Studio. No, the UCR, yeah, the Costa Rican University. And yeah, uh, we recorded those songs, and those songs were my compositions in that moment. So I was 11. I was playing drums by then, and well, I will also were playing guitar, but not in the band.
Let me jump in
So
here, Isaac. Sorry to cut you off. What are we looking at here now? We saw
the
another picture.
moon,
Okay,
it's the
so
moon.
okay, because there was another picture that we brought up, and I think you said that was the moon as well. Is that right?
Yeah, the great thing about this is that this is a picture that I took I think a few weeks ago, that my family came and we went to walk through the. Oh no, that's my mom's house. Yeah. But yeah, that's the moon. But I recently took one because it was really interesting, because you could see the moon and the sun at the same time.
Ooh.
So yeah, I took it.
Okay.
And yeah,
That's
well,
always interesting.
Is this your
that's
group?
my band, Es Simple.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Right
yeah,
on.
with my brother and my friends from my whole life.
Yeah.
Danny, it's living in Florida,
You play lead?
and Diego. Yeah, yeah, and I'm the singer as
Okay.
well.
Mhm.
Where can we hear your music?
Bandcamp
Yeah.
mostly.
Yeah, I was going to
And
feature and this is your wife, is it?
no, she's actually my little brother's girlfriend. And
Oh,
they are a member of the hub. That's the space that we get from the local government to make the jam sessions
oh,
every week.
good stuff.
They facilitate that
So
space, so
do you
we have it.
now we've added maps of Costa Rica to the slideshow, and I wasn't 100% sure. It is considered a Caribbean, like Latin American, Caribbean, within the region of the Caribbean country, yes?
Well, it's in Central America, and we have a one side on the Atlantic, which is the Caribbean, right? But and the other side on the Pacific. So we have both.
Mm-hmm.
The Caribbean is really beautiful. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Well, and it's just
ridiculous.
like you got Nicaragua to the north and Panama to the
Yeah.
south, correct?
Yes,
And
that's true.
yeah, and are you in any way are Costa Ricans talking at all about Trump's recent interest in the Panama Canal?
Well, I heard about it. I haven't had the opportunity to talk to anybody about it.
You don't
I
watch
have,
you don't watch the news?
uh, you know, not really.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually talking a few days. Oh no, actually yesterday with the Creek Masons about it. I in my head. My dad really early he took the TV away
Mm,
and he sent us to play outside.
smart guy, smart guy. Yeah. Televalium,
So
the plug-in drug.
yeah. So what happens is that in my head, whatever is coming from a screen, I put it on the movies section. And not because I don't think that misfortune happens or whatever. It's just that I doubt about the intention, why they're telling me, oh, that's a beautiful picture of the hub we went to
Mm-hmm.
eat something. And yeah,
Here's another
those are
close-up shot.
some of the guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so great.
Well,
And yeah.
you have a lot of
Mhm.
backpackers, I guess. Like, when I don't know if you care to disclose your exact location in Costa Rica, if it's a larger, like one of its cities, or just a kind of a town in the country, or just are you based in a city or town?
Costa Rica is a small town. The whole thing, I think,
Costa Rica is itself just a one big small town.
yeah, and it's beautiful because of that. It's very,
Hmm.
everybody knows everybody, and yeah, well, that's the city, San Jose. That
Mm-hmm.
picture that we have, that's the temple of the music, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh.
I played in that play. I
Mm.
played that stage like I don't know, maybe 5 times or something like that.
How are the
And
acoustics?
weird.
Weird, eh?
Yeah, interesting. Very interesting.
Mm-hmm. Is
That,
that
yeah,
is that is that your cock?
that was a cog that appeared here in my backyard
Yeah.
someday, and the guy didn't want to go, so I was trying to. Actually, I was recording my new album by that time, and the guy was here, like woo, woo, doing noise. So I
Oh,
have to.
did he end up in the soup pot eventually, or just let him
No,
run away?
no, it was some neighbors. Because
That is
I live.
hilarious.
I
Oh,
live in a
so the
rural.
neighbor's cock ran into your yard. That's what you're trying to
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
Or it
Oh
hopped,
my
the neighbor's
God.
cock hopped into your yard.
Oh my gosh.
But you know, and
Ah,
uh, yeah, I live in the rural area of the north city of Heredia, and up in the mountain.
Nice.
So yeah, we have a lot of, animals and
Okay.
beautiful
stuff.
Yeah.
backyard, by the way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you have
Yeah.
any problems with cartels or human smuggling? Any sign or talk of that at all that you can speak of?
Well, I think that's a problem everywhere in the world, right? It's not something that you can, like if you're not involved in that thing, is like it doesn't get to you,
Right.
right? But it's definitely happening
Yeah.
everywhere.
How are the local
Yeah.
how's local judiciary and law enforcement? Are they fair and balanced? They're reasonable, and they do a good job with their work, would you say? No comment. Do we have to
No,
research this?
no.
What would you?
Like one of the greatest things about this country is political stability,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
Because yeah, and that's why many people come here
Yeah.
to retire
Yeah.
and spend time because it's a really a peaceful
Yeah.
environment. You feel it since the moment you put a feet in this country
Mm-hmm.
because we don't have an army.
Ah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
vibrationally that actually creates a different setup of
Mm-hmm.
you know
So hold it.
uh
So hold it. No army. So are you like a zone of peace, like a peace buffer zone between Nicaragua and Panama? Then is that right? Is that kind of like
yeah.
is is that so? Basically, Nicaragua and Panama, like they understand, like don't cross the border because this is a zone of peace. It's a buffer
Mm,
zone.
well, I think Costa Rica have a really good relationships
W-
with both
Right.
countries,
That's good.
and there's no reason
Yeah.
to
Right.
to.
So you work everyone in that region. They tried their best to work together. Then essentially collaborate, cooperate, smooth relations if possible.
Well, yes, we are allowed to go to Nicaragua
Hmm.
and back, and to go to Panama. I've been in
Sure.
Panama like 3 times.
Hmm.
I went to watch uh, Ozzy Osbourne in Panama. It was fun.
I'm sorry. I'm so. What did he just say?
Ozzy.
Ozzy.
Oh, Ozzy
Yeah,
Osbourne.
it was
All
great.
right.
And
Yeah,
also,
but
and also I went to watch Bad Religion in Panama, and it was
oh, sweet.
amazing.
Oh
Yeah,
wow. How about
Yeah.
cool.
that? Oh my God. So
How
yeah.
very good
Now,
memories, yeah.
what year was Ozzy?
I can remember years, I got lost in time. Do you know that one of my weird experiments, was to change the calendar,
The
right?
Mayan
Like,
calendar, is that right?
no, no, no. It wasn't the Mayan calendar. After that, I learned about the Mayan calendar through Satori D.
Oh, really?
Actually, I wasn't paying much attention to it, but in my exploration, the self-discovery game, I was, let's change the time. So
Yeah.
I created this new type of calendar for about, it was like 9 months of 40 days.
40
And
days and
I
40
was,
nights? Yes, magical number,
yeah,
supposedly.
and then 5 days at the end, call it the vacuum days. So I was following
Hmm.
that calendar for around a year and something,
Okay.
and you get completely lost, man.
Were,
It's like you access a new timeline. It's
were
crazy.
you doing much in the way of psychedelics or ayahuasca during that period?
I haven't done ayahuasca yet. I think, and if the right moment came, I will
Yeah.
do it. But
Yeah.
yeah, it hasn't yet.
Magic
But yeah,
mushrooms?
yeah, definitely. I had this beautiful experience
Good.
with
Yeah,
my
they're
one of
great.
my mentors
Hmm.
introduced me to that,
Yeah, good
and
stuff. In tea? You
yeah,
drank tea or
no, I just
mushroom?
ate them like
Ah, choo.
dry.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
So Roger
with
Hansen, give him a shout out here via D Live. we just opened up the chat here, and he's first to connect with here and drop in through the Peanut Gallery. And yeah, the format, it's not really a solo stream. It's just we've got myself, feature guest Isaac, and because she helped to book the show, Sonia. So here we are, and thank you for the simulcasting and syndicating as always, Roger Hansen. Good stuff, much appreciated. So and it looks like I guess you see Dragus Prod over there as well. I see he's not coming up here.
Yeah.
Is Mark? Yeah, his name is Mark. Is that right? Yeah, he's not. We don't see. He's not coming up here via the Peanut Gallery, but we're actually. Roger actually talked to us about maybe connecting with him and doing a show at some point. I think you guys have been. Is that right? All three? Or you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I know Roger. Love him.
He's a major live streaming social media tycoon. No doubt about that.
Yes.
So
with a punk rock attitude,
Good.
I love that.
Oh, punk rock pirate. That's pretty. Yeah. There's some definite parallels there. So within the vacuum, how did that come about? That handle then, is that somehow related to your unique calendrics?
Well, yeah. Well, it was the concept is about that unknown side, that we don't know anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
So and which everything is coming from, like not everything is coming from nothing. So that's the concept behind it, and the aspect of ourselves that we cannot see, and how we explore inside of ourselves, trying to get to the core of our own nature.
Mm-hmm.
And it's related to that. Yeah, definitely.
Have you studied any Eastern philosophy, Buddhism, and so forth?
Well, a little bit about many things, like for many years. Yeah, I was, one of my favorite places here in San Jose was a library.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we saw that picture. Is that what the picture? All those books blew my mind.
Coolest place in the world, like that library was there. It's not open by the moment because the owner is traveling, but it's a beautiful place, and I've learned so much. Not only because you could read a lot of interesting stuff, but the people and the conversations were very, very important in my life, and actually helped me to learn a lot of many stuff.
Well, where did you go to? Where were you schooled then, in the formal sense, institutionally, via the state, or elsewhere, more organic, kind of free range character?
What the?
Well, were you homeschooled, or did this?
Oh yeah. Well, I was I realized about that something weren't very right since the kindergarten. My my dad and mom sent me to this private kindergarten, and I was like, okay, yesterday I was exploring and following the ants and learning about fractals, because that's something that I think as a child you like decipher very early, right? Oh, this is a little forest, and there's the big one, right? So I was in that exploration, and suddenly they send me to this place, and there's a lady telling me what to do, when, what can I play, what can I not. So I get rid of it as soon as I could, And yeah, of course, I ended up learning part of by myself, and then that beautiful library, which I think that was my college. Well, I got accepted in the School of Arts and Music of the UCR very early, as well. As I was like 10 or 11 years, and same, it wasn't for me. It was too rigid. It was too. I mean, it's a good school. It's a good classical school, and I've learned, technique and and traditional music language, instruments, and that's my brothers. Yeah, my
And
two
the
older
guy, you
brothers.
have an older brother in the middle, is that right?
Yeah, and
That's
the other one is my older brother.
mhm. Pretty
So yeah.
snazzy set of wheels there for sure. So, did you say that you were accepted to the University of Costa Rica at the age of 11?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, hang
I
on.
was.
But most people, it's like 18, 19, 20. Yes?
Yeah, well, as music, they have this a special program when
Mm-hmm.
you're like a good musician, so you can
Mm.
go there and apply for it and
Protege.
get it. Well, I don't know. I
Wunderkid.
had these. I had these. I was studying with these kids. They were like 8, and they were playing back.
Oh,
Like
yeah?
crazy. But yeah, it wasn't for me because it was a lot about, in a way, when it's good, but it was more about memorizing and playing the
Mm-hmm.
classicals one and another and who's doing it better. So I
Yeah,
want
yeah.
to do I want to do my thing.
Right.
So that's why I very quickly I got like, okay, no, I don't want to do this. And my dad and mom were like, okay, you just,
Mm-hmm.
go and do whatever you want to do. And they
Follow
allowed me to.
Joseph Campbell. 3 words, folks. Follow your bliss.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, very quickly I've learned that. And then, yeah, I ended up in this, knowing all these remarkable people, and I could learn and had mentorship in different aspects. Like I've been and I've met a lot of notable persons that I appreciate a lot, and they
Mm-hmm.
taught me a lot of great things from their own experience, and also, I had the opportunity to debate with them about my perspective and contrasted, and yeah, I think I got the best uh, education possible at the end.
Oh, sure. Yeah, it
Yeah,
sounds like it's wonderful. That's great.
personalized.
So, and as far as your now songwriting, are you it sounds like you're keen, presumably you can read music quite well. But you're also someone who likes to improvise and just kind of play by feel.
Yeah, I cannot read, like, like I know
Mm-hmm.
how the systems work, but
Mm-hmm.
I haven't tried for many years now. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, I the same. I had to develop my own system, and I could understand like music when I could attach it to geometry, to be honest, and to
Right.
be able
Okay.
to look at it from a deeper, like adding depth to it and layers instead of an horizontal system, and that opens my mind, and it adds another type of understanding about music.
How about the circle of fifths? Have you familiarized yourself with that, haven't you?
Yeah,
One,
definitely.
yeah. To me, that was. I mean, I wish I had been exposed to that or had someone present that information to me when I was a lot younger, rather than just wait until my university years. I wish that it was, um, a long time prior. That there's no doubt. Like it would have helped out
Well,
big time. Understand the relationship between chords and keys, transposing from one key to the next, and the relative relationship to things, and how you can sometimes even break the rules, I suppose, to do your own
definitely,
thing.
that's the right way to do it. Breaking the rules and try to uh, because the system is good and it works, but um, I mean, every node inside every node exists the whole nodes. Every node exists inside of every node, so it's a fractal structure, right? And if you can grasp that, you find another level of freedom inside music that you can explore freely without any rigidness or
Mhm.
rules. The rules are like, and my dad also, because he is from the classical side, but he never pushed that onto us. Like he was like explore by itself and learn. And when I asked him like what I'm doing, and he explained it to me, like, okay, that's called like that. But I was exploring by myself without rules.
Okay, so we're talking music, of course, and for those of you who are wondering, it's Within the Vacuum, aka simply Isaac, is what he often also answers to out of Costa Rica here for show number, I guess it's 338. I like the way those numbers resonate. Speaking of fractals and so forth, the 3, the 3, and the 8. Um, yeah, really quite something. It's
Actually, that's something about numbers as well. In a certain point, I was like, oh, numbers are not simply quantities, but are uh, shapes that reflect some movement in the spectrum of waves, right? Like you have a 7, and the 7 does this, and the 5, and you can relate that to the dimensions and how the dimensions works with each number, not as quantity but as shape. That
yeah,
it's
yeah. It's just how about
you know
signifier or it like well, it denotes, it points like with letters, the alphabet words, a number of letters strung together. They signify, denote, or otherwise like point to something that lies beyond. And the thing is, oft as is said in the Zen tradition, encourages us not to confuse the finger pointing for the moon. So yeah, don't have you heard that one? Don't confuse the finger pointing for the moon.
yeah.
It's very really but so many people don't get it. I'm sure people listening here, maybe for the first time, will have gone completely over their head. Maybe it'll hit them like a bolt of lightning at some point later on down the road. But yeah, so it's like a signifier. It denotes, it points to, and that we should not get too hung up. Like people talk about the word of God, preachers, they get up and start ranting and raving about the word of God, shaking the Bible. They have the Bible in their hand, and it's like the word of God. It's like, oh boy, I think you're really
Well,
missing
you
it.
can very easily confuse about what wisdom is, and maybe you can tell some wise person is someone who knows a lot of things. But I think more that when you look at the like the vastness of the universe, or even the earth, and how small we are, it's really difficult to try to talk about anything from the perspective of a complete truth. We cannot hold uh, absolute truths. We're just a little perspective, and that's why we need each other, right? Because you can bring your perspective, and your perspective is as valuable as mine. I cannot claim like, oh, my perspective is the one, right? And when you see that, I'm pretty sure it's totally bullshit. And that's what politicians and marketing campaigns are trying to do everywhere. Like they are trying to convince that they have the truth about any topic, and I just know that that's impossible. Nobody has any truth. A little one, a little piece of perspective is what we have, and that's a lot.
What do you think? What do you think the role is having a little piece of the ultimate reality, the function, purpose of music is in our lives, and the throughout history, the impact, significance, value to humanity?
Well, we
Good question.
yeah, that's a good one, and I think it's related to the nature of our own reality, or the reality that we are all hallucinating, right? Which is uh, probably waves and frequency. And when you go deeper into that path, you probably will found music like the when you study the hermetic principles, right? Vibration and polarity, and right, what is that? Is that a philosophical thing, or is just a technical thing about how reality is built, right? And when you go deeper, you find out, oh, maybe this is a music universe. This is a universe made out of music. So in my from my side, I think that we as musicians, we are like just channeling that uh, that energy that's coming from our the core of reality, the source of reality, and expressing it as the as you know as the best way we can, and beyond words. That's really important about music, and how frequency can affect the different aspects of our human spectrum, uh, sometimes bypassing the intellectual center and going directly to your emotions. And that for me is very powerful. And somebody out there use it for the bad, and someone use it for the good, but that's the universe we live in.
Yeah. What are your thoughts regarding? I mean, the relationship potentially between music and, for lack of a better word, magic. You know,
Magic.
casting spells.
Oh, well, yeah, the world of impressions depends on the receptor, right? Like these guys who plays like let's do a ritual, or like put a spell on somebody else, and well, the receptor, if the receptor is susceptible to that, it will get hit. But if you don't give a fuck, probably it won't do anything to you. So it's more about how prepared are you to receive those spells, those intentions
Hmm.
over you.
And
Then
there's your one complimentary pirate F bomb for the day. Anything more than that, it's 10 doubloons to the community potty mouth swear jar. Just to let you know, I know you're something of a
I'm sorry.
newbie. That's fine. I mean, even George Carlin, the comedian, he said that for within the context of comedy, it's acceptable. Just that we should be careful not overdoing it. So with the Captain
Yeah.
Sinclair here, with the way he's got it laid out, is that's the deal. One complimentary F bomb. We are pirates after all, so be
How
forewarned,
many do I
listeners.
have?
You just have one so far. Don't. Oh, but trust me,
Okay.
you're compared to some of the guest speakers we brought on board in the past. You're a choir boy, so total choir boy.
As many as you'd like, Isaac. Actually, that's
Okay.
that's my vote.
Well, as long as you
No,
got
I
the
was.
doubloons, if you got the doubloons to back it up, fire away. Yeah.
I
Pen
don't really
doubloons.
talk like that all the time, but I was, trying to make a point
That's
on
right.
that
Right,
That's right. Yeah.
because,
right. You
because
use your cuss words effectively, if you ask me,
Is that
in the
now whose
conversations
dog or
we've had.
cat? It's like a hound howling at the moon.
Oh, oh, oh! I don't know,
Is
Jeff.
that that
I'll
must
mute
be
myself
is
here.
that must be Costa Rica then, I guess.
no, it's Arizona definitely.
Oh, one of her
It,
kids having some issues, maybe.
it's a
One
dog.
one of my kids. My kids are
Grandkids, they're the
sleeping.
grandkids,
The
or who knows?
grandkids sleeping too, Jeff.
Yeah.
Nice try though. No, it's Friday night here in Arizona.
Oh,
In the middle of Phoenix, they're like,
see,
everybody's howling at the moon.
I
Okay.
keep thinking you live out in the country for some reason, like out in the
Nope.
desert.
That's what I'd like to do eventually, but right now I'm in smack in the middle of the city, like
Okay. Well,
smog.
okay, you realize the powers that be with this whole new world order business, and even, uh, you know, Trump and Musk with their freedom cities, pushing and promoting cryptocurrencies. Something I'm pretty sure that Isaac would hopefully, like to address here within the context of his W8W project, that they're heavily promoting, and wanting to corral essentially human cattle or chattel,
Chattel.
if you will, into the cities, and so that they cannot relocate, and they cannot. It's total, these big lies standing, because we're gaslit almost through this big media, through government, largely because those are the people who work to shape public opinion and impact our thinking. The term
That's
itself, government,
lovely way
simply,
to put it.
well, government itself, you break it down. Do you know what that means, Isaac? You have a Latin roots there with your language, so Spanish. I'm not sure how linguistically inclined you are, as far as the etymology, is something that really, to me, is endlessly fascinating. It's like, because it's sort of like you're unlocking these deeper mysteries and history of secrets in many ways, the esoteric nature of language, where it's come from. I mean, I didn't make it all up. We use it, but I mean, and we can contribute to it in the sense of like reinventing. Like, look at technKRAKEN. Where did that come from? Well, I don't know, but I tell you what, Jaffe and the crew here sure have been using it a lot lately. Has it gone viral yet? Nope. Could it potentially? Yep. It's just, I know, it's just a matter of time. The whole pirate thing, we were watching that quite closely, and we were out there on the cutting edge, excuse the pun, circa, 2016, tracking things back. And from that point, even the likes of Alex Jones and others, incorporating, to one extent to the next, embracing the whole pirate ethos and approach, which is great. Does that mean that we go around laying waste, massacring, plundering, raping, pillaging, endless bloodshed and thievery and so forth? No, quite the opposite. The pirates of God, once again, Isaac, the Piratas de Dios, which hopefully you can help me on the pronunciation one more time. But the pirates of God. It's a new day in the world of online digital piracy. Clearly, where we work as the best we can, and this is all largely thanks to Pirate Larry, who's now transcended to another level entirely, having dropped the body, as it were. And no, in case people out there wondering, I am not a Scientologist, but that's what happened. He's dead, deceased, not quite 2 years ago now, I guess, but was a central part of the crew here for some time. So, but do you remember the story that we shared with you last time, we spoke, Isaac, regarding the Pirates of God. Kind of like the Blues Brothers. Let's not forget, we're on a mission from God, is what they told us. So that's a pretty good idea. Do you remember what we told you though, with working to redeem ourselves, from our past
Yeah,
sins
I
and.
remember. But I didn't know like the context, like specifically, and how it is related to you guys,
Well,
and
Pirate Larry kind of helped to really present that to us, and he's gone now. He was with us for a few years and suffered some health problems. But I'll tell you what's interesting, even moreover, regarding his legacy, he left behind a number of really great bandmates out of Baja, California, Zone Libre, Mexico. I think I might have told you about this. So it'd be great if you could connect with Piratas de Dios out of Baja, Mexico. Just kind of poke around a little bit on the internet and ask about Pirate Larry and their music, of course, and maybe have them on. Like I think you do your own shows as well, do you not? You got a pretty decent studio set up there via Costa Rica. So I think they would make for some really great guests. And yeah, ask them about the whole ethos and spirit philosophy of working to do what they can to redeem themselves from past transgressions in former lives, now having signed on to assist and reach out to widows and orphans, along with pretty much anyone else who finds himself in need, very much in line with the whole WWRHD way of looking at things. What would Robin Hood do?
yeah. Well, I think that we are all already involved in that aspect. Like my grandfather, my great grandfather came from Germany, and the whole history of humanity is sustained on blood and in on conquering and
Rape.
on raping
Yeah.
and all of that. So we all have to, in certain when you became aware of that aspect about yourself, and well, you have to do something, right? And that's why we are trying to put something good out there. And going back to the crypto thing, I think it's a good opportunity to explain why I ended up doing this and using these systems and the blockchain and everything, right? Because, and I remember like this was like 4 or 5 years ago, and I've met a Satori D through minds.com. I was sharing my mandala stuff, and I was by that time experimenting with the calendar and all of that. And he noticed my work, so we got in contact and started to collaborate and sent. He was sending me some drawings, and I was turning it into mandalas, and we started to play around with it. So he invited me to the Omega Tech Commons meetings because they were looking for perspective to build an educational tool for the new token engineers. So I went there, and I was really, it blew my mind. All mostly like these ladies, these wise, very wise, intelligent ladies who were like running Omega, that I was like, oh man, this is incredible. Oh, and I've learned about the possibilities of the technology on how we can build public goods, how we can do better, as Chris do better.
Yeah.
and 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 it was like perfect for me because I when after I went to I spent a lot, like 15 years in the library, and when I got out of there, I went to the forest, right? When you get to certain let's see level, or whatever, and you say, okay, what's next? And I decided to go to the source of knowledge. So I went to the forest and start to just contemplate and observation of the processes, and and then I ended up on these meetings, and all the knowledge that I was learning from the forest and the wisdom of the economics of the forest could be applied to this technology. So it was like perfect for me. It was like, oh, this is so amazing how we can emulate this behavior, this intelligence into economic systems. So that's why I'm here, right? I didn't get into crypto because I bought some early Ethereum and then it became very expensive. I don't have any Ethereum. I don't have any Bitcoin. But I'm totally into building these new possibilities, especially for musicians in my case. But I'm pretty sure the model that we are creating might be applied to other fields as well in some point. Oh
Sure.
yeah, that's the place.
And
That's the
that, yeah,
place.
that's exactly. And when I saw that, I immediately, it's like, oh,
Cool place.
read some
Yeah.
books. Yeah, good stuff. So, well, Satori D, he was really one of the first people who helped our project, um, find its legs and get rolling, more or less in the sense that, among other things, he helped to coordinate the first show that we did, the first feature show with both Bill and John Ottman, of all people, if you can believe that. I wasn't the main host at the time. I was, it was like just right from the very early days and working to playing the co host and trying to essentially, because this is one of the reasons I set out on this journey in the first place, find my public speaking voice, something that I'd never bothered to pursue in the past, really at all, other than getting up at the occasional open mic or music festival, British Columbia, Alberta, Western Canada. I did make it as far down as Baja, actually, California once again, Zone Libre, back in the day, and so street busking was a big deal, and still is something that remains close to my heart. In fact, there's a chance that I may. Apparently, I've this opportunity doesn't come all that often, given the fact I'm not based directly out of the Seoul region itself, metropolitan Seoul area. But there's a local drummer lady who is interested in getting together and jamming, just as sort of a friend of one of my adult students. So that helps to give me more of an initiative to pursue a little more street busking out here, in the community come springtime, obviously. So, but yeah, Satori D, he's we consider him the ship shaman. We don't hear from him all that often. He's kind of mystical, magical, very very aloof in many ways. But he'll I suppose reconnect when the time is right. You should well, you'll definitely have to let him know that we connected here in a formal sense, and I managed to put this conversation together. So, but yeah, it's small world, definitely. Very much a
Yeah.
small world.
Yeah. Satori has been very special since the beginning. Like he noticed because of his background as well and his own research. Like we connect very quickly. Like, oh man, it was like when you go to the park and you find some other kids that are playing over there. And it was like, hey man, do you want to play? Yeah, of course. And you know, I love collaboration. I love that because it's how we grow, right? It's how we can interchange perspectives and how we can, you know, make a better world is through collaboration. I truly believe that, and he's totally in about collaboration, and it was easy. It was easy to connect and to yes, definitely. We actually work together and different projects and
Oh, that's
still doing it.
that's good stuff. Really great. How about Bob Dub? I was going to ask you about her. What can you
Uh,
tell us
sh
about Bob Dub?
oh, she's amazing. She's amazing.
Yeah, some of
With
it's
the
amazing and AI videos
yeah,
she's been putting out lately. Have you seen those?
yeah, but you know, I focus normally on the human aspect
Mm-hmm.
more than the you know all most of the people out there in minds are very talented people,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's good, that's ability, but the human aspect is what gets me. And you know her story and and how overcome complexity in life.
Mm-hmm.
It's what really impressed me, and you know that's how we connect because that's what we are. You know, like we are very vulnerable as humans, and I think that's a key aspect of how we connect, like on the level that we are all the same. And yeah, from that we grow and we bloom in different ways, but at the end, you know, we all are just humans and trying to live a decent life and trying to do the best we can.
Right.
And
Yeah.
she's all about that, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's
Yeah. But flourishing as well too. Not. Uh, I think she ideally spiritually she's discussed having wanting to. I'm not sure if the word is transcend necessarily, but to when she be reborn in some sort of godly realm. In the Buddhist world, there's like you have different realms of rebirth: the hell, the animal, the human, jealous gods, and I think just standard sort of gods, and so forth. So, hungry ghost. Can't forget the hungry ghost. Something that Roger's been really keen on as of late. The Pretas. So, yeah. Uh, but and Bob Dub, yeah, sure. She's gone through a lot of suffering in her life. There's no doubt about that. And she's as Nietzsche himself, I guess, did talk about back in the day. If it doesn't kill you, it tends to make you stronger. So, uh, yeah. But
it's
mhm.
as I learned, it's like you have to die a lot of times, you know. And it's basically the like, you know, the child is born in a very pure manner, right? And then we gave him a name and we send him to kindergarten and we share all our uh, beliefs as truths, and all of those things are creating layers and layers that is you know creating your personality or whatever that the people think that they are, and forgetting about the essence. So in order to get back to your essence, you have to die, you have to renounce to all of those layers of of you know personality that you believe that you are,
Mhm.
right? Like I don't feel that I'm a musician. You know, I can do music and I can do this and I can do
Mhm.
stuff, but I'm not that. I'm a human being.
Mhm.
I'm an essence. I'm trying to get to the core of what I am,
Ah,
and in order to do that, you need to die. and it's not socially uh, acceptable many times, because you have to fit in, and the social distortion is out there defining what you can be and what you don't you don't what you can't.
Hmm.
So yeah, definitely, we all have a certain level of that experience, and I have no doubt that Bob Dove has her own, right?
Well, and that's what I would argue once again. Psychedelics, they're highly therapeutic. Mushrooms, as an example, and it's a really good, refreshing to hear that they are being more widely used in the West. Hopefully, that'll expand, to other parts of the world, including here in Asia. They trust me, and this is if there's one part of the world where they need a little therapy to help them with their stress and neurosis and anger issues that they keep
Mm.
so deeply bottled up. It's Asia, starting with South Korea, and I say that after having called this place home now the past approximate 20 plus years, amazingly. So yeah, can you believe that many tours of duty, as I often like to put it? And yeah, throughout that time, I've not only having done tours of duty over that period of time, but also stepped in a lot of it along the way too. You know, so
Yeah.
oh, that
Also,
went
it's
over his
very
head.
important. No,
Do you know what?
and
Do you know what
also,
He doesn't know what duty is, maybe.
I think that psychedelics and all these tools are very useful, are
Sure,
very
of course.
helpful. But you also have to do your part of the job.
Oh
You
hell
have to
yeah,
be
yeah, yeah.
what they call conscious work
Uh huh.
about your shadow aspect,
Oh, big time,
right?
big time.
And because I know many people out there that are taking the mushrooms as candies,
Uh
and they
huh.
having these trips and everything, and they are
Uh huh.
back, drinking and
Uh
doing whatever,
huh.
and which is it's okay, but it's not only about the tool; it's about uh, what you want to achieve
Mm,
with it, and
yeah.
how.
Well,
Um,
set and setting, as was often talked about back in the day when psychedelics first really took off, in the '60s. And for me personally, like, yeah, the whole thing with like the distinction between mushrooms and acid is with the lysergic end of things. It's a lot more powerful. Clearly, you got to be careful what you're getting yourself involved in there. Speaking from experience, and even like Timothy Leary talked about how, yeah, you got to know your sources essentially. So, and also Aldous Huxley and others. It's Alan Watts, I believe too. That you don't need to be taking that sort of thing. It's a tool, and it helps you get to a point where you've managed to see the light, as it were, and then it's not really needed all that much anymore. It's not an
yeah,
addictive substance,
yeah.
obviously, and but I would argue, just kind of cautionary advice here to any of our listeners. Hopefully, BoobTube doesn't deem this to be medical misinformation. Because they can read anything into it they want, and they especially love anytime you how dare you question, the likes of Fauci or the WHO, or the official narrative regarding, it's like this. Das ist verboten, ja. Das ist verboten. So it's like it's pretty crazy stuff there for sure.
The,
But death of the ego is what it boils down to. It would seem
Yeah,
clearly.
let's go back. Let's go really back, like
Oh, uh
here
huh.
the natives here in Central America, they had Teonanacatl.
Oh,
Teonanacatl was the
yeah.
is a mushroom,
Oh,
and it means the flesh of the gods. And
Oh.
it's really interesting because I've listened it the other day to um, this scientist Neil deGrasse Tyson
Oh God.
talking about mushrooms. Yeah, well, the guy it's a materialistic scientist and is very respectful. But he pointed out something very interesting,
Mm-hmm.
which was he was talking about mushrooms, and he said, "Do you know? Don't you recognize that mushrooms are meaty?" Right? And I was like, oh, he doesn't. He probably knows, but he doesn't know that what I'm connected to with that term, because the name Teonanacatl means the flesh of the gods,
Wait,
and there was a
hold it. You were talking to Neil deGrasse Tyson personally?
no,
Oh,
no,
you're
no, no.
listening to one
I
of his
was watching
shows. I see.
maybe a short or
Right.
something like that,
Okay.
and but what caught my attention was that, and I already knew that here the natives call it Teonanacatl, which means the flesh of the
Yeah.
gods, and they were having all these rituals about the to reborn
Uh-huh.
and the new uh, blooming of thyself. So yeah, it's really interesting, but it's really it's not from the 70s or the 60s. It's way back to the
Right.
ancient
Well,
Egypt and and actually the American civilizations, apparently, according to these archaeologists I was watching the other day in an interview with uh, how is this guy, Lex Fridman,
oh yeah.
and he was bringing some really interesting information about the Americas and pyramids, some pyramids, like thousands of new pyramids
Mm-hmm.
that they found. They were way older than the ancient Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
So it means that probably, I don't know, something more interesting that we don't know yet
Yeah.
was
No.
happening here before
Oh hell yeah.
before
I mean,
the Egyptians.
oh yeah, sure, of course. And that's the thing is like historical revisionism. Oh, historical. No. No.
Yeah.
Scientific revisionism. No. It's like the corona apocalypse, the case is closed. Don't question, don't think, don't question. Just have faith in the technocratic authorities. They will, provide, so yeah, our occulted history, Jim Mars, he knew the deal, as do many others, of course, at this stage. And we're living in the age of apocalypse. Clearly, I hit on this point quite often, and new listeners, this will be the first time for them to kind of be able to reflect on the whole notion of how we have the technology with satellites in the sky that are able, Earth penetration and provide images of certain things. You're talking about ancient pyramids that predate uh, what we find in Egypt. All over the world. There's a great documentary series called "What on Earth." I encourage anyone out there listening to check it out. So that's one example, though, of the apocalypse. The term meaning, and people get triggered by hearing that quite often. They just want to run around and panic for some reason. But really, the true meaning, I think it's Greek, pretty sure, probably koine. Truth be told, koine Greek. It was the vernacular of its day of the Near East, Mediterranean region, probably used by Phoenicians and Greeks, of course, many others, Alexander the Great, and even Christ himself. But so I don't know if you'd say as above, so below necessarily in this instance, but we're kind of dancing around that to some extent here. Secondly, so you have that revealing or unveiling of what's been hidden, and then there's a lot more going on as well, including the consciousness end of things is what you're hitting on here with John M. Allegro. You know, the you may have heard of, if you know, he was quite famous actually with the translation of the Dead Sea Scrolls. The Sacred Cross and the Mushroom was the book that he put together, and he went so far, I believe, to actually, now I don't know if he said Christ was a mushroom. There was something going on there, though, as you say, as you're referring to, kind of, you know, kind of drawing our attention to that this was part of the Holy Sacrament. You know, take this as my body. You know, it is, you know, take this as my drink, my blood. It's you know, and so forth. So, you know, Holy Sacrament, right? And
Yeah.
as a tool where it takes us. Just William Blake, when the doors of perception are cleansed, man will see, you know, things as they truly are, infinite. And I don't know, just the ego death seems to be a central part of things. There was something else I was going to add to the whole apocalypse business that's really important. Not only, archaeology, I guess. Archaeology is really critical, central part, but satellite technology, archaeology, and even psychedelics and psychedelia, that altogether, if you think of where we're at in world history, time and place, that, wow, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see how they attacked the poor Graham Hancock, right?
Oh yeah.
Because he was trying to present another perspective of a
Oh
history. But
man.
now he's out there and it's very respected
Sure.
right
Oh
now,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
which is
yeah.
something good because it opens our perspective about our
Well,
own
it's a
history. But
paradigm. It's a paradigm. The establishment science hates it. That's the whole point. Science requires revisitation. History requires revisitation. So don't be intimidated, people. And this whole, don't get me started on anti-Semitism either. Don't get me started. Let's just put that aside for now. But this revisitation of, you know, deconstruction of terms, and so the catapulting the propaganda as they do the war on drugs, the war on terror, you know, just every war that they seemingly want to launch, and this gaslighting. But you know, Graham
and when
Hancock, go ahead.
yeah, when you make an analysis about how
Paradigm
these
shift.
old movements start, it's somebody or a group of somebody's trying to define how things are. And that's very, that's very lame. It's like, who can come, and that happens also with whatever you're trying to do. Like set an example of the hubs. Like what happens if I'm trying to say like, okay, this is the only way we can do this. Uh, it's not the only way. There's a lot whole of ways to do things, but we can present an alternative humbly.
What was the
That's
term that
very
you used?
important.
I'm sorry, Isaac. And humble is very important. You're right. Do you say house? Sonia? Did you hear what he said? Like something about house. There was a
House.
ha
Um,
an H word. That you just back up a little bit there.
I'm not
You
sure.
lost me there. I understand everything that you're saying past that point, but
Sometimes
uh,
he says some words that are like really don't sound like the words that I'm familiar hearing,
yeah,
or like focus was
house,
a really funny one there for a little while.
halves, house. How do you say?
hubs. The
T-
hubs.
Hubs,
spell.
Like the creative hub. I was
hubs,
Oh,
referring to
H
that.
hubs,
U
hubs,
H U B S.
hubs.
Hubs.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
One more time.
Yeah.
So just
Thank you.
hubs. One more time. What did you exactly? What are we? You know, what are you trying
Like
to communicate?
like if I'm
Yeah.
trying to, we're building these new models,
Mm-hmm.
and what happens if I'm going out saying, okay, this is the shit,
Right.
this is
Right.
how we are going to do things. Like every politician out there, they own the truth, they own the perspective of everything and the science, and everyone wants to be right, and nobody is, because we simply cannot be completely right on anything. We are hallucinating, for Christ's sake.
Uh,
We are, and it is so annoying when people it's going out there to tell truths. It's like, fuck off.
Isn't
know,
that what that one Danish minister recently said to Trump, supposedly? So,
Oh, that's
you
good
know,
stuff.
I'm not sure what
Love
that
it.
was all about. But hang on a second. Let me just bring this up here. I think this is kind of important. Actually, we've got it there already, don't we? Can you see that? Teotihuacan?
yeah.
Teotihuacan, meaning.
Oh no, yeah.
But hang on.
Okay,
This
the
is the
place where the
place where
gods
the
were
gods were
created.
created. You know
Oh,
about this, don't you? In the
awesome.
Nahuatl language, it refers to ancient Mesopotamian city known for significant pyramids and cultural influence. Now, what were you saying earlier about the mushroom? What was the name?
Teonanacatl.
So it's Teonanacatl. Oh,
I'll share
wait
it
a
with you
minute.
here.
Now, Atl. See, it has the same little kind of
Mm-hmm.
cognates in there. Atl. What is Atl as a prefix or a suffix in Spanish, or the use of that? What does that mean? A place?
We don't use it a lot
Atl.
on Atl. Well, it's I don't know, maybe related to Atlantis. I don't know.
Interesting. Well, and you have heard about how, what is it, off the coast of Cuba, that there are these very strange
I
formations
heard
that have been
about it
found.
recently.
Yeah,
Actually, yeah, a
they're
friend
all
shared it with me.
they're all over the planet, though. Graham Hancock, Yonaguni. You're up to speed on Yonaguni off of northeast. Maybe it's about 100 miles northeast of Taiwan. It's this archipelago chain of islands owned by Japan, supposedly, and so it's just northeast of Taiwan by about 100 miles, where the southernmost tip of this archipelago, supposedly owned by Japan, resides. It's these ancient giant underwater ruins known as Yona Guni. And in Sanskrit, Yona itself means, it's like a female receptor of some kind, is what it seems like. Female, Yona. And in Korea, they call them Yoja, and Yoja means woman. So, as compared to Namja, man, and Kamja, potato. So I guess,
Mhm.
so you have a Kamja Namja, that would be a potato man. And I'm not sure about the Yodza, but anyways, you could
That's
have
interesting. You know what's my
potato man.
nickname from childhood? It's Pepin.
Potato boy, bean.
Yeah, that little potato.
Yeah. Oh, geez.
Yeah,
Isn't that funny?
That's
Well,
it is
funny. Yeah.
a
so
little bit of a quink and think there.
it's called
So,
synchromysticism. Or you could look at it that way,
yeah.
I guess. Synchromysticism. Yeah. So let me look. We haven't given enough of a shout out and acknowledgement to the people that have been patiently kind of sailing along with us here. I'm not sure how engaged exactly. A lot of people, they go about doing their house chores, washing dishes, or what have you, depending on their schedules. So Roger Hansen, uh, and there's others here in the chat and the things. DK Spiracy, Joshua Allen Huckle. We got Mark there, of course, once again, and Svetlana.
Alan has made it.
We just saw
Yes,
Svetlana. Look at that.
Svetlana had a great comment on how words are magic.
I should
from
bring that
earlier
up.
when you guys were talking about that.
Let's hear you read it then. I've done enough talking already. You go ahead.
Okay. Let's see here. This was a little bit earlier, but she was talking about the word of God was meant to be spoken or even sung, and then written words or spells. That's why it's called spelling, which I completely agree with.
Mm-hmm.
And she's also talking about how religions are just cults, and yeah, and this was from a little while ago.
Yeah, well,
But,
yeah. See, that's another thing we would ask, maybe just someone. It's partly my fault, of course, get to engage in the conversation here. In the back of my mind, I'm wanting, is like, geez, we got to get to the comments, but
and
something
also,
you could remind us of.
There's some really good news that Alan is in New Zealand now, which is fantastic. Good for him. Congratulations, Alan and DK. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
He finally made it over there. Awesome. Long trip, I'm certain.
Party on, dudes.
Yeah, party on, dudes. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So we'll see how that all.
It's on.
Mm-hmm. They'll probably actually. I think they recently did a show together I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, it was
right.
on New Zealand Freedom. It's on Rumble. It's one of DK's shows that he does. So.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Actually, I did check out something that they put together last night, and it was just like a lot of news, a little bit of commentary, and some
maybe that was Alan's show that I seen that. Yeah, it was just recent, just the other day.
Yeah, he was hosting DK. So big shout out and thanks here to Dregis and Roger Hansen. I wasn't supposed to go to D Live with the monitor screen here, but that's what we're looking at anyways. I think that's coming up. That's okay. We're trying to get to Restream actually, so we can.
Would you like to hear some of maybe watch a video of some of our featured guests' musical talents?
Yeah,
I threw a couple of links into chat. I'm not sure which one that he would like or that it would be. They're kind of they're old, a little bit old. But I think both of them are just amazing. I was
thinking of doing this ahead of time actually. So I think we do have. Tell you what, why don't we do a Rogues Gallery after show? We haven't done one of these in a while. If you're up for it, the two of you, and we can also have Roger Hansen, Svetlana, and whoever else would like to join us. Do so. Remember, we only have one simple guideline, basically, with the ships, in conjunction with the ship's articles. Do you know what that is, Sonia?
Yeah, probably be cool.
Kind of, yeah. Don't be a dick.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Don't be a dick. So if then it's amazing because there are some people out there they just can't help themselves. They can't. Usually, it's alcohol.
Kind of comes
fueled.
Naturally, kind of thing.
Yeah, no, it's
some
usually
folks are just seen differently. Period.
It's either alcohol. Time and again. Trust me, I've been around enough to see this. It's either alcohol or the people are just full of themselves.
Right.
Like they haven't maybe. Well, they're not experienced, I guess, in the sense of
playing nice. You got to play nice, kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I love having fun, taking the piss, as the Brits say, busting people's balls, and
absolutely, you do that to me quite a bit. So
yeah. I kind of backed off a lot of,
which is it's fine, it's cool. I know it's fun. I mean, it would be boring otherwise.
I don't want to piss you off too much because yeah. I mean, I'm sure even Sonia has her limits, right? So yeah. But let's see. We've got the Restream here in place, and yes, we would like to feature Isaac's music at some point here, including hopefully an upcoming Minds World Indie Music Showcase. So for anyone out there listening who would like to be part of our next installment of the Minds World Indie Music Showcase, be sure to reach out to us. Pirate One Radio at protonmail.com. That's pirate, the numeral 1 radio at protonmail.com. It's also how you can help us out through PayPal or provide show suggestions, guest ideas. We are listener supported as well. And so any help you can offer along the way, donations, half of which go directly back to charity. Let's keep that in mind too. What would Robin Hood do? Clearly, they would take a significant portion of what they receive and see that it gets back to the people out there in need. That's why we've got Operation Secret Santa in place, as an example. So, definitely it's all to a good cause. It helps to keep us up and running, and it makes some real miracles happen along the way in support of, people out there that are struggling at times, clearly. And there's a good number of folks that are, and ideally we selectively ourselves sponsor people who can be duly vetted and help them out accordingly. So but having said that, of course, yeah, let's see if we can pull up the the comments here. It gets a little goofy, unfortunately. Not sure if they're going to totally. Oh, a few of the comments might come up. Nah, not too many. But we do have the other screen. This is something that Vinny Eastwood asked for the other day when he was on, actually. So we'll provide people with a shot of what it looks like here with the restream. But all the old comments are not going to appear here, unfortunately. So either of you can chime in, I guess, if you like. I just I muted Sonia out there momentarily because of the background noise. But speaking of the Word of God, do either of you know what that really is? It's one word. There's just one word, and it's Greek. Do you know what it is? The real Word of God.
What is it?
Oh, it's logos.
Oh,
Logos, right? Do you know
action.
well, action that's karma. Um, karma means action, right? But logos is the word that not, and people get hung up. We were talking earlier, not confusing the finger pointing for the moon. So they read a book and they're like, oh, it's like these words are real, you know. It's like, and the concepts are real. It's like, no, they're just words and they're just concepts. Get beyond that, right? So just drop it and experience what it is directly, and you'll be a lot closer to what it is hopefully that you're looking for. So as we find ourselves out on the path, this journey of life that we're all a part of here, nodes in the matrix. So but the logos, yeah, in the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God, and the Word was God. That's the book of John, the opening uh, lines to the book of John, the New Testament, and the Bible.
Law
And
of One talks
it's,
about the logos as well.
pardon me?
The Law of One talks about the logos as well.
Oh, I've heard of, what is the law of one? Let's hear about that a little. I've heard about that before.
The Law of One is a channeling. It's one of the more respected channelings, or more, I guess you could say, regarded as being real channelings that's happened over the years. It's kind of akin to the Seth, with Jane Roberts, the Seth channeling. But it came after that. It was, I think, in the 80s or something like. No, in the 90s. It's the newer one, and the Law of One. I mean, it's a whole like gigantic channeling which talks about all kinds of stuff, and the logos is just that's part of that. It's very interesting to look into that for sure.
I'm not sure what Mark is going on here about Dragus Productions. That wouldn't fly in most of my shows, no matter what. But good for you. So I don't know if that was the F.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is.
Was that the F bomb? Maybe. Could it, I think
probably. Mark will not allow any cussing in his
he's
shows,
really sensitive to that apparently. So they want to back only a portion of the dollar with crypto until the tariffs hit, according to the plan. That's interesting, yeah. But Trump is all in that crypto business, isn't he? So to me, it seems it's all like a big giant kind of Ponzi scheme and confidence game, essentially. Yeah. So, well, as with any currency, like you need to have people agree, like they need to have faith. Like credit is like it means belief, right? Trust, belief. So if people don't say like, no, this fiat government issued paper is worthless, then it probably loses its value. So look at in Korea here, so fascinating the words that we have, and a lot of people with Sanskrit having branched off both to the east and the west and had influence, right across both of the regions throughout history. That what you find here, the ancient term for, maybe I can get myself back on camera here for a moment or two as well. See what I got to do.
Oh my, that would be wonderful.
Jeez, Sonia.
Your visage is just so calming and
yeah, exactly.
For everyone involved.
Especially, our co-host.
Yeah. Yes.
It seems so. Okay, so here we go. As he tries to politely wipe the little blob of snot out of his nose before he appears on camera. But
Sounds so
gross.
endearing.
You know, so
Very
no.
endearing.
Actually, there was. I've had a cold, but actually, and I was sneezing in the lead up to the show, but no, things are good.
It really
it was
brings
like,
out the maternalness in me.
Okay. Yeah. Enough.
So, do we want to play maybe a song from Isaac?
No.
Would
Well,
that be okay? No.
I want to hear it, and I encourage
maybe?
everyone to check it out. But
A little bit of share screen. It's only 3 minutes. It's bitches.
Oh, you want it from
bitches.
your end? Okay, if it's ready to go and you can do it, get it going.
I'll see what I can do.
Chew it up, then fly away.
Chew it up here.
But I don't want to be kind of flat-footed and screwing around.
Isaac. Flat-footed third time. Thank you, Jeffy.
Fly at it. Meet yourself out. Get it going.
In that session, there's one of the songs that's called Arcane, and it's a short jam. Yeah, I think that might be.
I was thinking Trails or my rate BN. No?
Trails. Okay.
Is that okay? I love that one.
It's a bit longer. It's a bit longer, but yeah.
The one I got is about 3 minutes. There's two of them. One's 6 minutes and one's 3 minutes.
Well, he wants Arcane. Give him Arcane. I like it.
Let me see what I can find.
Yeah.
It'll take me a second.
Arcane.
Let me
Unless you got a link.
Okay. See,
Isaac, and you want to share a screen? That would be cool.
This is not from a production. This is the sort of thing that could be cut out in the editing end of things, post-production. But I'd rather. This is why I'd rather have all this worked out ahead of time, just for future consideration. You know.
It's bitching.
If it's going to sound weird and caught,
it's like a little baby from our guest.
All right, so comment-wise, what else while you're doing that multitasking, and we'll mute you out while you do that because you're busy. And Isaac, if you care to from dark matter to WPRPN, says Joshua Huckle. Okay, so
I'll totally love to play live for you guys in some point if you.
Oh, do you have your guitar handy?
Possible. Well, no, because I actually played this afternoon online as well.
Oh yeah.
But I take all the equipment off and it's all disconnected. So
what format you played online? Like in what was the context?
Well, it's something new because I have never done anything like that. But about this showcase, what I'm doing is I've recorded a new album, so I take my parts off and I play with the rest of the arrangement over it. But yeah, I can do an acoustic or a jam or I did this afternoon. I did an ambient, really, like
you and relaxing. If you guys want to do the Rogues Gallery after show, we'll get Roger Hansen on there. What I usually do anyways is I play music, but I don't play my music. I just play music that is kicking around here in the digital archives, like Dire Straits or Dylan or Neil Young or whatever, some blues, jazz, you name it, heavy metal, doesn't matter. Whatever kind of suits our fancy, floats our boat, right? That kind of deal. So, all right, here we go. Spontaneous Sessions 1, Trails. Not Arcanes, but now we're not hearing anything, so you might want to work on that, address that issue. You're muted out, Sonia. See, here's the reason why we didn't really want to do this necessarily, but
probably you, Jeffy. I'm sure. Let's try this one. See if it works. No.
There we go. Okay, rock and roll. All right. What kind of effects is there? Like fuzz tone, little reverb, fuzz.
Fuzz and wah. I know wah. I'm using the wah.
When was this recorded?
Oh, a few months ago.
Okay. You cut your hair since, I guess. Is that right?
Yes.
Now, is this a 3 or 4 piece?
3 power trio.
And do you have a brother that plays with you?
Not in that session, but yeah, I have my brother who plays bass in another band with me.
Are we going to get a chance to see his hot girlfriend again? Is she going to show up here somewhere, dancing across the screen for us? Gently glad. All sorts of jiggly. Smoking the magic mushrooms of the gods and started hearing scientists, says Roger Hansen. Sounds like, I'm not sure what exactly, but he might be smoking something right now that is making him feel no pain. Everyone follows the leader. It's always been that way. You support drugs and you support people who support drugs. You're religious. The same. More from Roger. Humans are incapable of escaping their own prison. Now that I don't buy. I don't believe that. Oh, Roger's going to bed.
Oh my.
Alone again? Or was someone that he's invited over? Maybe a date? What's the deal?
My.
Kind of a call order.
Short attention span.
The bass player was telling me, like, let's move to F major.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
How did he do? Oh, so he just now the way that he communicated was just verbally.
Yeah, he in that moment he come close to me and told me, let's move to F major on this. So we went there and get back to, I think it's A minor.
Hang on, I got my guitar here. I'm gonna grab it and check this out.
Yeah.
Let's see what we're looking at here. I got the cheapest setup ever.
The drummer is 19. It's a really amazing drummer.
I'm not a lead player at all. Trust me, I've just been working on scales.
Yeah, skills are good, you know.
You have to, yeah, you have to. That's why it's circle of fifths, I said, you know, like earlier. Now, do you do any covers?
I really don't do covers that much.
Any singing? No vocals? All instrumentals?
Yeah, I sing and play at the same time.
So definitely an A minor kind of thing, yeah. Not, yeah, it's just totally.
The cool thing about these sessions is that it's all improvised. You know, we just got together and okay, let's.
That's all. It's kind of. It's like freeform, sort of psychedelic jazz, I guess.
I don't know what that. You know what this is, but it's what happens in the moment. You know, but yeah, it's. I was telling the drummer, let's do something like, you know, and he started, and the bass player go over it, and then I started to do all this crazy stuff over it.
And this is called Trails. You've titled this Trails. That's a Telecaster.
Yes.
That's the same kind of guitar Springsteen uses.
I love Teles.
Well, are you a fan of Bruce? You like Bruce's music?
Yeah, of course. You know, it's a
What a
classic.
that's a you just
I'm not a fan. I'm more well like on the other side, but you know, it's
what do you mean you hate
obviously
you don't like the guy's music?
oh yeah, I love it.
Well, what's the
Who
what
doesn't?
what it's a
Who
lot of people
doesn't?
a lot of people do, a lot of people don't like him or his music.
Really? Well,
That
Well,
was bitching.
good
there's
stuff,
a
yeah.
lot of good music out there. You
Mhm.
know, like it's a very respected artist, great musician.
Bruce?
Uh, yeah.
And Sonya's not a fan.
No,
But that's okay. Look, it's very
I'm not a
simple.
Am I not
fan.
a
I'm
fan
not a
of?
fan either. I'm not a fan either. You know, but I'm a producer, so I have these two faces about music. When I, you know, when we are talking about music, there's the what I listen for pleasure, which is you know Bill Evans, Chet Baker,
Oh yeah.
those things. But you know, when I also am aware of what's going on out there, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
Bad Bunny and everything. You know, I have
Uh,
to be aware of
oh,
what's going on.
hold
But
it.
I'm not a fan. But you
Who?
know, I know about it.
Bad Bonnie?
Yeah, this reggaeton artist.
Nah, never. Not never. Is it some
Huh?
new
Are you
outfit?
talking about
Oh,
that bassist chick?
lucky guy. Sorry?
Are you talking about that bassist chick? That
No,
one
no,
good
no.
video? Oh, okay, okay. She was pretty badass. Yeah.
No. I'm talking about this Latin American artist that is doing like
Oh,
popular
Her
music. You
name
know,
is
like with a lot of
Bad
Bad Bunny.
Bad Bonnie.
Yeah. Why I bring it out? I'm sorry.
Oh no, dude! If you're gonna, whoa, no! If you're gonna bring it out, turn the camera off. Okay, we just do not
No, no.
that will definitely get us shut down. You know that YouTube will. There's no bloody way. So don't bring Sonya. Maybe the two of you take behind the scenes. It's your thing. You say it wherever you want to go with that.
I'm just, you know, I'm just bringing it out as something that is very popular.
Oh, I'm
That
sure
I
it is.
really don't. That I
I'm
really
sure
don't like it,
I'm
but
sure it's
it's
very
out there.
popular.
So you know,
But why
you
aren't
have
you?
to be.
If it's
right,
that
right,
if
right,
it's that
right, right.
popular, is that why you're not married yet? It's just too popular, and you don't.
Wow. Wow.
So you don't want
Who?
to.
Who?
You don't
What
Who?
want.
is
Me?
Jackman?
Yeah. Like you did,
Well, I've been married for
right?
10 years,
Okay.
but yeah, after that we got separate, but we
Okay.
are still good
Yeah.
friends.
You don't bring it out
But
on
yeah,
stage.
I'm available by the way.
Okay. But you don't bring it out on stage, do you? You know, Jim Morrison did
Yeah,
apparently in Miami. Remember the Miami
love
incident
Jim.
with Jim Morrison, the Doors?
Love
That
Jim.
got him into a lot of trouble.
Eh, eh.
So I'm really careful when I bring mine out. You know, especially if there's a camera on. That's all I'm saying, man.
I dare you.
I'm sorry, Isaac. I'm busting your balls. Maybe yeah, maybe a little closer
It's
than
a
what you
good,
want.
it's a
But
good.
do you understand the expression, like bringing it out? Yeah. I think I'm just playing on words. I think what you're getting is why you're raising it as an issue, while you're trying to make the point, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly,
I
exactly.
get it. So, hey, how long? Like Costa Rican people, like are their English is like generally about your level? Would you say?
I don't know.
He
Well,
grew up there,
But
so
the
probably similar.
hang on.
yeah, the people that I know, and there's a lot of corporations here from the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
That are employing a lot of people. So
Tourists.
yeah, many. No, I mean corporations that are offering jobs
Oh, Banana
for
Republic.
locals. Yeah, that kind of thing. You know, like
Yeah.
they exploit and pay the like less than a half that they should, and
Mm-hmm.
they get a better cut. And because
Mm-hmm.
normally people here, yeah, it's well educated, and
Mm-hmm.
you know
Yeah,
they're
I
good
mean,
people.
it's like the top number one country in Latin America, correct?
I don't know about
Well,
that.
I mean, if we were to do like a search for standard of living and per capita, what is the population in Costa Rica? A few million?
I think right now it might be around 5 million.
Yeah. And with did the government we're kind of, shifting gears a little bit here, jumping around a little as we wind things down. But I'm just kind of curious. I've never been there. I've got family members that have visited, passed through, backpacking and whatnot, and even some. I think my dad might have some timeshares, in the area. If I'm not mistaken. He's traveled significantly as well throughout the years. So, but just oh my God, I think nothing but when I hear Costa Rica, trust me, it's like it's no comparison to when people mention Haiti or I don't know what other countries, like because it couldn't be any different from one another. Just and Costa Rica itself means like rich coast.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, that's
right.
what it means.
So and how
And
far?
it's a rich coast.
Yeah, sorry.
It is a rich coast,
Yeah,
definitely.
what kind? Okay,
Biodiversity,
okay.
biodiversity.
How many seats to your government? Like you have federal, like a state or provincial, and then local governments. Yes.
Yes, exactly. We
Mm-hmm.
have local governments, and we have the plenary, like with the uh, yeah, like this a very interesting
Oh, hold on.
system, but
Okay,
it's
okay. Stop. Hang on. I'm sorry. What did you just say? It sounded like fairy. You have the. Oh, did you say diversity? The fairy?
mm,
What did he say?
no. I said before. I've said
Oh,
biodiversity.
so we have we
Biodi
have no. We have biodiversity. Was what you said?
Yeah,
Oh,
biodiversity and
okay.
the coast. Well, the
Oh,
nature.
oh.
Like it's a very rich country,
Mm-hmm.
and we have like all these flora and fauna.
Oh God, yeah. Mm.
It's a paradise.
Oh yeah, you're so
So
blessed. Good. Your karma.
yeah,
You like wow, like heaven on earth. So you man. And now, have you traveled much yourself? I know that, and I hope this isn't letting the cat out of the bag, or maybe
well,
talk to us.
I
But hang on, but you're thinking of maybe visiting the States at some point here in the not too distant future. Have you been there before?
Yeah, I've been. I passed by. I went to Italy with my
Mm-hmm.
mother when I
Mm-hmm.
was a child. So we stayed a couple of nights in Miami at
Mm.
that moment, and New York Airport, and that's
Mm.
all I know about the States. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, sure, it's that I know Panama, and yeah, definitely I want to go to the States and
Mm-hmm.
be able to share over there. Yeah, and
Hmm.
there's a few communities over there that I want to collaborate with.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely, it's in the
Mm-hmm.
in the
But
near
is it?
future.
But isn't it amazing the way that we can do this all through postmodern? What I refer to as meta modern. That's a catchphrase that I haven't. Once again, technokraken, meta modern. I love slogans. So hashtag that meta modern, Sonia, and the where we live. It's some would say postmodern, but really it's meta modern. And meta is a powerful word too that Zuckerberg sort of absconded with. But do you know the well, powerful billionaires?
About a Zuckerberg,
Oh God.
I a few days ago I am in code camp
Hmm.
with Jolly Llama and Bob Dub and Eclipse and Binary, right? And we are learning how to deploy smart contracts
The
and
Dalai Lama
uh,
is in a code camp with you. That's incredible. I can't. That is
oh,
small world. The Dalai.
genius,
Dalai.
the
I,
the
he's
Jolly
like in his
Llama.
80s now too. Why would he be wanting to code? I thought he was all about like
No,
prayer
that's
and
not the same
meditation.
person. It's not the same person. You're referring to another
Are
person.
you sure? Have you seen them? Have you
Yeah.
talked to them?
Yeah, of
Okay.
course.
All
We
right.
we have
Okay.
meetings like we have code camp
Do
three
you use
times a week.
Linux? You're kind of a tech guy then, are you?
No, not really. Well, I am a sound engineer,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I have an old MacBook. I need to change it.
Mm-hmm. How about Linux? Do you use Linux?
Well, I use an Apple, a MacBook Pro,
No, no, no.
but
Operating system, Linux, not
oh,
Windows, Linux operating system.
yes, it is.
You use Linux, yes?
No, not Linux.
W-
I'm using Mac OS
Okay.
system.
Are you interested? Because with Linux, apparently you can't get any viruses and spyware, so they say. But it's really interesting and cool. Definitely give it
Uh,
check it out at some point. You
as
might.
I understand, Mac OS is based on Linux, right? Isn't it?
What is?
Mac OS, Mac
Oh,
system.
that's Apple, isn't it?
Yeah, Apple. Yeah.
I don't know. It could be, I guess. I don't
Mm,
use Apple products at all, so
yeah. Well,
uh,
I get this computer is very stable,
good. Well,
to work
good,
music.
good.
That's what I need. I also sang
Oh,
and
oh my God! I got to ask you something. This is we got to go to the Rogues Gallery after show if you guys are up for it, because we're just kind of we're tarrying and kind of stretching things out here a little more than what we should be. So folks out there listening, you think you're not getting your money's worth. Oh, wait a minute. There is no money. This is free. We do appreciate donations, though. This is a friendly reminder. Pirate One Radio for rotonmail.com. Plus, there is a lot of merchandise that is up for grabs and available. Half of everything we do generate goes directly back to the grassroots. Wouldn't it be something if everybody did that, Isaac? That half of your profit you would take and put back into your to pay your bills, and then the other half would you would just freely, not because you had to, but because it's the right thing to do, in line with the whole hashtag WWRHD, what would Robin Hood do, ethos and philosophy, way of going about operating, I guess, living our lives and, navigating these high, often
mm,
all too intrepid digital seas. So, yeah.
uh,
GarageBand. You have a version of GarageBand? I need to get a copy of that. All I've got is Audacity, and it's it works, but it's scratch demos, and you can check out. Oh, Jaffe's doing this on guitar in this key. It's like it's because this is the thing. I could send you a silly scratch demo, and you could work with it and just make it
yeah.
completely your own, really.
Send,
Or
send, yeah.
yeah, or I could send you some work that I've done. It's like, geez, we could really stand to use some nice electric guitar on this, and
Yeah,
you could just
definitely.
you could lay something down there for sure. Like you do blues and rock, no problem, right?
Yeah, I do. I do salsa as well.
Okay, how about
Yeah,
country and reggae?
yeah. All generous.
You can do all far
I've
out.
been educated. I've been educated exactly on that. My dad was like
Nice,
that.
nice.
Like let's
Yeah.
play reggae. Let's play.
Okay, good.
You know, all of
Yeah,
it.
awesome, awesome. Oh, your dad. Now does he live do you live close together? Your family very close knit from the sounds of
Oh,
things.
yeah. Actually, my dad lived downtown,
Okay.
and well,
You live
he's very
uptown.
sick. But yeah,
Oh.
and but yeah, we have a really good relationship,
What's he
and we get together.
okay, so
Uh,
what's he struggling? My
uh,
mom just
well,
recently passed away actually. My dad is has his issues. He's hanging in there. I'm hoping I can meet him again for probably the last time this summer. We have something we're working on here. I haven't been out of Korea since 2007, if you can believe that. Each time I travel internationally, for some reason I end up getting hassled. Not sure why that is exactly, but just as a friendly reminder, people don't be surprised if later this summer Jaffe potentially, not potentially runs into some unnecessary issues and just trying to freely make his way back home to visit his sick, old, and dying family relatives. But your father, what's he struggling with health wise? I'm curious.
prostate cancer.
Ah, has he
Yeah.
tried? Here's what I'm not a doctor, of course, but the CBDs, CBDs and THC. We had our Pirate Larry friend. You take those as a suppository. It sounds kind of funny, of course, but you take it as it's like a little, it's like packed full of medicine. THC, CBD, whatever works. Shove it up there, up your backside, and get it in right because it's better than taking it orally, right? You're putting it in there directly right by the prostate, and then it kind of explodes and does its work, right? It spreads through the area. Tommy Chong has been struggling with prostate cancer for a long time too, and he's still hanging in there. He's doing okay, last time we heard at least. So it's amazing the way these things work, but yeah.
Yeah.
Radiation?
definitely.
Has he had radiation?
Yeah, he got
No
radiation.
chemo? No chemo?
No chemo.
Thank
No
God. Thank God.
Oh yeah,
Fuck the
yeah.
chemo.
Now the
I'd rather
poison.
die. I really would. I really would rather just take
Oh
my,
yeah.
fuck that.
But he's doing very well. After
Good.
that, like he's more
Excellent.
aware, and we've been
Excellent.
sharing.
Tell
I
him
hope
about the suppository. Look into the CBD. CBD, like you put it up the old poop chute, as you say in English, right? And you just it's wow. Do they have those products in Costa Rica freely available, or you can order them? No problem.
Yeah. There's the whole spectrum of weed products
Well,
here.
but and the thing too, like you don't necessarily have to take things that make you high, right? They can just be
Yes.
nutritious, right? They're just supplements. So there's the
Yeah.
two different types. Yeah, a lot of people get
Yeah, he's
confused.
been taking it. I think so.
Good. Well, okay.
Yeah. The thing.
Yeah.
And yes, but you were mentioning about. I forgot.
Way to go, man! It's like you're totally spacing out. Stay focused. Come on, what are you doing? So, but on that note, no, there's a hell of a lot we could talk about, obviously, and it's been a pleasure. Very engaging.
I remember. Sorry, man.
Sure.
The 50%
Yes,
of
sir.
the profiting. Well, that's the thing. That's I think I'm not. That makes me think about the intelligence of the forest and how the forest take care of every part of itself in an intelligent manner. So it distributes resources according to the need. That it's according to every aspect of the forest. And that's what amazed me about this technology, that we can develop systems that in some sort emulate that intelligence. And with the data that you can provide, you can basically become a node or a little part of a great forest, and make the resources to flow.
We already are. That's right. And just get it out there, and it's synergy. It's total synergy, man.
Yeah.
And you brought up karma earlier. The word itself simply means action. A lot of people don't know that. They kind of karma, and then you hear they go off in this long-winded kind of explanation, and it's like it's just one word, man. It's action. That's all you have to say. So, and we never know what the impact or end results ultimately. We have no idea what they will be of any of our actions over the course of a whole endless number of potentially not quite infinite lifetimes. Roger Hansen earlier hitting on this point in the comment section regarding the prison planet environment and scenario where we currently find ourselves. Like Johnny Cash sang about, rusty cage. I'm gonna break this rusty cage. I'm gonna break this rusty cage and run. It's something like that. I can't. The headphones are, a little bit off there, but whatever. Yeah, I love that song. It's like Soundgarden originally, apparently, but Johnny Cash, like the Hurt version, Personal Jesus. I listened to the originals of those. It's like Johnny Cash. He did every one that he covered. It was better than the original by far. So, anyways,
that's something about covers. If you're gonna make a cover, let's make a different version of it.
Oh,
yeah. Your own version.
Yeah. A lot of times people, you talk, the non-musicians usually, they're like, that's not the way it's played. That's not how it was done. That's not the original. It's like, not supposed to be, you idiot. It's like, these are cover songs. These are, it's like, I mean, you want to like carry the tune, the melody and everything, obviously, but the arrangement it's completely up to you. Whatever a person wants to do, it's if people like it or not, that's up to them, right? So
you don't want to ruin a classic. You want to make it better.
No, yeah. No, I think I've done that a time or two along the way. Just the road to.
We all.
No, Sonia, you have no, Sonia. We all. It's kind of you gotta,
Right.
Yeah, like You look back. You start by you record yourself, and then you learn. Like intervals are really what's to me lately. I've been really focusing on a lot. Intervals, not just with time intervals, but also the vibrational differences between what's expressed melodically. The melody, the sound, obviously. So it's
Yeah.
space and time. Is what you're working with
In
together.
the Occidental system would have like this 12 notes, but if you go to the Hindu or the Indian method, they have like quarters of tone. They work with a wider range of
The tabla thing.
not only in time but
Yeah.
in melody. They
Oh. Probably
like
Chinese, probably
those little.
too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And it's infinite. It's infinite. A note, what we call A, for example, it's a quantification of something that cannot be quantified.
Right. Oh, well,
right?
A440, right?
Yeah.
Or here's something for you. And we gotta call it a wrap after this. But A432 is it megahertz or hertz? Megahertz?
It hurts.
Yeah,
Hertz.
it hurts. So which hurts more, 440 or 432? But is it
440 for sure.
Now, do you buy into this whole business of how it's the sharpening of what the way, because each planet, probably each person too, but each planet throughout the universe has its own distinct vibration and frequency. Something that Tesla talked about, right? Like, if you want to know the truth of existence and reality, you can start by looking at vibration and frequency. So it has been discovered, supposedly, astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson and others. Not a fan of the guy, but sometimes he gets it right. He's like a major kind of disinfo dude ultimately, and this guy, he's so full of himself. He's just so full of himself.
It's ridiculous.
If you pay attention to what I don't like about him is that he talks like the ultimate truth. Sometimes.
Yeah. Oh God.
Who can do that? Who can do
Show
that?
some humility, dude.
Again.
Yeah. It's
that starts war.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It starts from that, from somebody trying to say that he has the objective truth of whatever. That's how it starts.
Right. Yeah. Now look.
So if we can know about ourselves, we will find that I'm very little. I cannot hold truth.
Look now who America has recently reelected. So we, on that note, hope that I mean, he's not really someone known, especially for his humility. Speaking of starting wars, but maybe he can do what he can in negotiating things to bring about an end and cessation to violence. Let's hope.
I hope so.
Let's hope that's the case. Yeah. So, anyways, and on that note, we have some sunshine. I'm not sure. I'll turn the camera back on, I guess. See if you guys can pick up on this. Because quality, you can probably see there's a little more light coming through here now. This is vitamin D. That our skin, we're like sponges, right? That's why if we work in a toxic, a dirty, sort of a contaminated environment, that we get sick, apparently, right? So, but this psychopath, crazy Dr. Evil, Bill Gates. Can we say that? We'll live stream on YouTube. They probably, if he's, how dare you, don't criticize Dr. Evil, Bill Gates. But he actually wants to block the sun. He is that, and
I think that's a cover story.
It has nothing to do with his involvement in the kill shots, does it? The experimental kill shots.
Farmland.
What happens when people can't get enough vitamin D? That we become depressed a lot of times, don't we? Like winter time. This is why I really go for this right now, winter time here. So
Yeah.
It's very
Get your
important
full
also to
sunlight.
ground.
Take
You know,
your
like
medicine.
put your feet on the ground. That's very important.
Grounding.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, we wear rubber shoes all the time. And how often are we actually standing on the ground, like the actual earth, which for most folks, it's hardly ever, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And and you were
And you
mentioning
need
about
that to be
the
healthy.
I got bare feet right
frequencies
now,
for
whatever that's
for
worth.
32 and for 40.
Right.
Right.
Let's finish
Yeah.
off
Well,
with that. Yeah.
my view on that is like is in my own experience. I have experience. I don't know about the whole theory and the whole like controversy about those, but what I've experienced is that the 432 frequency affects the body in a special manner.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well,
because
that's.
I have experienced it.
Well, how do
it's
we
not-
resonate? How do we vibrate, each of us, with the spinal column? And then how does 5G and Wi-Fi potentially, with electrosmog, as it is known, stand to impact that? There
Oh,
seems to be
my.
a lot being discussed these days as far as, neural links and hacking, even like without us knowing about it, or secondly wanting, in the event that we do. And I can foresee a time where it will get to the point where the government and the corporate world, the fascist new world order, really essentially the globalists, they just come out and it's like, oh well, we're sorry, that's just the way it is, nothing we
Yeah,
can
that's
do
kind of
about
what's
it
going on,
now. It's
actually.
like too late, sorry. It's like
Yeah.
it's like we've been we've been substituting like natural
Brain-
capacities with
cancer?
devices, right? Like telepathy, and then we use a cell phone, and healing,
Right.
and then we it's
Yeah.
that's the timeline we are living in.
Yeah.
It's very interesting as
Yeah.
well.
Pick and
We can
choose.
use it for the good. Yeah, we can use it for the good.
Yeah.
And also develop the natural aspects of ourselves.
Well-
yeah, that requires a lot of work.
Sure. And
Right. And knowledge of it in the first place,
knowledge of what?
our telepathic roots or innate abilities kind of thing.
Cultivating that. Yeah, I mean, look
Well,
at
even
what
knowing about it. A lot of people don't know that.
like
at all,
fluoride. What they've talked about, how fluoride, the impact that has had potentially in calcifying the third eye pineal gland that we are said to possess. So anyways.
Yeah, the pineal, not the penile.
You're just Sonia's. Yeah, she's penile crazy.
Yeah.
It seems.
And Isaac, don't you have quite a few 432 songs? I've heard a few of them. The 432 that are done in 432.
He's missing 8 cents. He's 8 cents short of $1.
Yeah, he's not.
Yeah, well,
short.
I mostly use it for the ambient
musician talk.
Yes, the ambient stuff.
Actually, the Light of Day album is soul tuned on 432 as well. Yeah.
Yeah, the Event Horizon is one of them as well, right?
Yeah, the Event Horizon.
That's your new one, isn't it?
Yeah, that's new. Yeah, it was. I took it. Yeah.
Is it instrumental, or are there lyrics as well? And
there are lyrics.
Yes.
I've been participating of this community artisan. They are grand. It's a funding for art and new stuff, right? And they are like partnered in with different organizations to give grants, right? But the co-founder Renee just,
oh my god,
I was getting to my here, right? And I just checked X a little bit, and the guy wrote these lines, and it took my attention immediately, and it was about that. It was about the Event Horizon, because I've been investigating about it from different perspectives, from the boson, the Higgs boson, to the singularity, and it caught my attention. So I was playing a riff, and it all merged, and I ended up creating a song out of it.
That's fantastic.
Which singularity?
If you want to hear it.
Well,
we've 3 minutes and 20 seconds.
Yeah,
and I know, I'm sorry.
This is why we can put together exclusive premium behind the scenes content that if people would like to access the content that
I'm just a co-host here, so
well, no, that's it's good. We heard a little bit and people can hear more. Where do they go besides Minds Within the Vacuum over on minds.com? You've got all your other social media links listed in your about section, I would presume. Is that right?
Yeah, it's I mostly use Minds,
right.
Sure. I have Instagram, but it's more for to communicate with my local friends.
Okay.
But yeah,
good stuff.
Because throwing it in the chat right now.
So
it's all within the vacuum. You put within the vacuum. There's not many within the vacuums out there.
Anything in closing then that you'd like to share with us here? Upcoming events, dates, appearances, other current projects that you're working on?
Well, I'm constantly active, like creating, and I'm about to release a new album called Energy Field, which I'm pretty, I feel very proud about it because I did it here in this cabin, and I recorded the whole thing. And yeah.
You're going to throw it on vinyl, right?
Did you say cabin?
Yeah, this is a small apartment, like a cabin.
Oh, well, send us some pictures and some more pictures of where you live. One of the things with me being on camera, I'm a voyeur, much more a voyeur and what
TMI, bro.
No, dude, to get your mind now,
whatever.
It just means someone who en français.
I know what it means.
How do you probably say watcher, not a performer, frankly. I'm not someone who it's just not my thing to be out and hot dogging for the cameras, so.
Hot dogging?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, hot dogging.
Oh, man. I'm back at 8th grade in high school.
Apologies to all you vegetarians out there. Oh, you were all about, so Isaac, you were a big time 8th grade voyeur.
I've never heard that, but I knew exactly
Sneaking into the girls' washrooms when they weren't looking at change rooms.
I mean the
hiding in the shower stalls.
You're
jumping out just as they're taking their undershorts. Their shorts are finally to ankles.
This apartment is like just what you see behind it.
It's kind of blurry.
Like a loft. Pretty sweet.
Let me see if I can.
Send some pics later. We'll get. It seems like it's like a loft. You have an upstairs area where you go and crash out. Maybe,
exactly.
Yeah.
It's a.
There we go. Hey.
Yeah, it's a loft.
It's almost as messy as our place.
Right.
Yeah, love it.
I'm pretty. I like to keep it order because people came here to record and everything. So
yeah, okay.
I have to keep it.
So how often do you gig?
And there's my room.
Yes.
But to my left.
Right.
And okay, back there is the the laundry and the bathroom.
Oh my God! You have a microwave?
Yeah. Well, it came with the apartment. It came with the apartment, and that's a window that goes to the little garden out there. It is very.
He has a beautiful garden.
Oh my God! Where's your kitty cat?
Better than any park.
I think she just went out. I left the window open.
So and you have a dog as well?
No, my neighbors has one. Okay. I love dogs. I love animals in general.
Koreans do too,
Yeah.
Koreans, they really love dogs.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This guy.
Oh my goodness.
This fucking guy.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Well, at least I didn't make any cheap pussy jokes.
Give it a little time, bro. That's why you got to get off.
I didn't do it though. No, I didn't do it.
I didn't
at all.
Yeah.
So no.
Caught it.
I come to terms with the whole thing.
Yeah.
So.
No, we have 3 cats, and there's less number of Koreans eating dogs than there were back in the day, and I don't know. It's like, animals. Yeah, I mean, we're kind of animals ourselves. So, but are you in the country then, or are you kind of like downtown? This where you live, basically, sort of the middle of all the action.
This is a rural area. Like we have a store back.
Nice.
That's it.
Cool. And you got a great garden, really nice garden.
Yeah, and
And-
I moved here because I like to be close to the mountain.
Beautiful.
Like I like to go
lovely.
walk and
Beautiful.
go to the creek.
Yeah. Okay.
Must be nice.
Do you fish?
Really all I can say
Not
about
really.
Oh, you
Not
said
really.
you swim?
I'm not a good swimmer as well, but
So
I love
okay.
water.
Well, be careful. Yeah. I mean, yeah. So, well, see if you can get your background blurry.
I can swim, but I'm not like like these
yeah.
people who go and like fish.
Right, right.
Not like that.
Why don't you make your background blurry again? That was a better effect, actually. It's more kind of what is the word?
especially with the light coming
Yeah,
down.
yeah,
on the
yeah.
sensor.
It's more kind of
Very esoteric.
Yeah, it's like what's back there? Show us more. And then when we see it, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
just that. Okay, all right.
That's another
Whatever.
thing. You mentioned the microwave, it's killing you.
Yeah.
It's I don't want to be controversial on this, but we are all made of out of particles, and you can tell yourself whatever,
Of course, it's free.
Everything
choice.
might be damaged.
Yeah,
everything.
But here's the
everything.
thing. What it
toxic.
does, apparently, I'm no Neil deGrasse Tyson. However,
No. Wow.
yeah. But apparently, what it does, it sucks all the nutrients, all the good stuff out of your food. That's what it.
Probably.
We threw ours out. We actually, I think the wife gave it to one of her girlfriends or something.
There's some pretty
like
cool
that.
magnets you can salvage out of those as well.
But anyways, there we go.
I don't use it pretty often. I cook all my meals.
Yeah.
So I like to go and do.
Show us more pictures of your garden, I guess. And I'm not sure how many of those. Oh, bloody hell! We haven't been back on the slideshow for a while. We'll do that now as we cue up the outro. And that's the way to go about doing things here via. Oh, geez, I'm not even sure what the hell this was as far as the layout. But yeah, we do have some of
those are inner words, Jeff.
What is this here? A lot of people are focused on ascending, but have blah blah. So these are mostly yours, I guess. We have a sprinkling of other things too. Gosh. Yeah, well, it's not a credit card. They're debit cards, man. They're like debt cards. So think about that. And those credit card companies they got a real scam going.
I'm not watching.
Racket. Oh, you can't see it. Maybe are we?
That's why those are inside words, Jeff.
Hang on a second. What's going on here?
Right.
Oh, do we have? The screen share. She took over the screen share. That's why. So we got to go back and do that.
Blame it on me.
To figure out what's going on here.
Yeah.
The co-host hijacks the big man's.
Dude, I let go of the screen share.
Captain Sinclair.
This is my first time to see my screen's green right here.
Probably
so,
not going to be too happy about that, I would imagine. I don't know if...
I'd say it worked out pretty
well.
We
haven't heard from him. Wait a minute. Yeah, Jeff, fabulous in here, all right. And, the show's been running pretty well to this point.
Whatever.
Sonya, she's really kind of pushing her luck there, I think. I'm not sure what we're going to do about her, but we'll put her on mute for now. That's usually the best way of doing things. I agree, Captain. Oh, there's no doubt about that. What do you think of our guest? Oh, he's been really something, really wonderful. It's a little hard to understand. I'm not sure what it's a Mexican. What is this? He's a Mexican kind of guy you got on it. Costa Rica, Captain. Costa Rica. Yeah, you should maybe be paying a little closer attention. Well, I have been down at the Mossy Wench tonight here, one of the local drinking holes, so 3 sheets to the wind. But carry on, a hell of a job, and got a lot of comments coming our way there. Things are going well, so best of luck.
Can I mute you somehow? Maybe I can figure out how to do that.
Happy sailing, Captain Sinclair.
That'd be great.
Wow. Well, it's been a while since we heard from him. Look at that. All the way, from, I'm not sure, the Crow's Nest, or maybe that was like Dead Man's Bluff, where we called in from. So 3 sheets to the wind. And he's the guy who's basically in the ship's articles. What he's got is that we don't have any guests here. It's a 2-drink. Well, initially we had as a 2-drink minimum, but then realized that was that wasn't working.
You've been muted.
Yeah, it was a 2-drink Maximum. Oh, I see what's going on there. Yeah, don't worry. You guys couldn't hear us. No, you couldn't hear me, but
Okay.
the rest of the listening audience could. So hopefully they there was,
Well,
I don't know why this is one of the things. Sometimes the buttons they've got a life of their own. I tell you. Yeah, and I'm not kidding when I say that either. Just
mm,
the weirdest things do happen here sometimes. And
yeah,
it's like
you,
there are voices that cut in. It's been a few years now, but there have been voices where there's been people talking
I had a fart cut in my phone call the other day.
on Skype.
No, it was just a regular phone call. It was really, really weird.
Somebody called up
A
and
really No,
farted.
we were having a conversation, and all of a sudden, in the conversation, this juicy, like crispy fart came through
Oh, oh God.
sound, right? And he was like, What is that?" I'm like, "I don't know. I thought it was on your end." And neither one of us had that going
Yeah.
on, so I don't know what it
It was
was. And
on
then we had the
definitely
helicopter,
juicy
so
and
I don't.
crispy. It was certainly on somebody's end.
I think it was computerized. Is my whole
Oh,
point with
okay.
that.
Well, show what
Very
we
odd.
did. Robert Morningstar, I think. Was it? Roger Hansen talking about this the other day. We had someone cut in, and there's all kinds of this weird like male porn stuff, and just
Really?
it was just they were just
Wow.
throwing all this stuff at Robert, and his show. It's like we never. It's all through Zoom. Zoom was where it happened. Somehow, I guess somebody got the link and they just jumped in and started going crazy. He couldn't kick. He didn't know how to remove them. So but it was only a one-time deal, and I think he was talking about UFO disclosure was the deal. So, and that's something that Isaac was really not wanting to get into, and we're not going to press him on that now. It's late as it is. We'll save it for another time, but yes, I would say yeah, Isaac, an experiencer of sorts. Uh,
Of sorts.
yeah, I'm not sure. I guess there's definitely. I would assume, like with ETs as an example, we got malevolent beings and more benign, maybe like helpers of sorts, angels and demons, just as the way people are. You got some people are pretty messed up, and others that are like almost angels in human form and everything in between. So, but we'll get into that another time. Within the vacuum. Thank you so much, Isaac. We got all your show and social media information here. So have you provide the last word as we thank Sonia once again for her contributions. Isaac, anything you'd just like to
well,
say,
just
capping things off?
thank you for the space and for the what you guys are doing. It's great, and yeah, I'm very grateful, and I hope like our conversation could bring something interesting out there for somebody.
Cosmic synergy. That's what we're all about here, folks. So we'll be back this coming Wednesday is the plan. So do keep that in mind this coming Wednesday. Same time as always, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 on the East Coast. That's Wednesday here in South Korea. Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 on the East Coast with the news. Of course, World Pirate Radio News. Wednesday, 1 p.m. In the afternoon here via South Korea. Remember, as always, to like, comment, share, hit the subscription notification buttons. That's such powerful stuff. If you and password along to your friends, family, and coworkers. If you dig what we've managed to put together here over the past couple hours, or you find anything in the archives that we have compiled over nearly a decade of doing these shows. Can you believe it, folks? So we are listener supported. Pirate1Radio at protonmail.com is our main email address. Check out all the show description links and enjoy the rest of your weekend. On behalf of Captain Long John Sinclair and all the rest of the crew here down in Skullport Harbor, until we meet again via these high, often all too intrepid digital seas, I'm your host, as always, the Robin Hood's Chief Communications Officer, Jeffy Ryder, reminding you to keep your ear to the ground and eyes to the sky. Tally-ho!
I know. There we be. Having carefully looked over each of our navigation panel instruments,
checking every level, switch, dial, cable, knob, and pulley, by all accounts and indications, we indeed see it's time, once again, to drop anchor inside Mystic Bay.
draw an end to yet another week of World Pirate Radio Live.
Remember,
If you're looking for a little more animated online action,
keep in mind we've likely got yet another great free-flowing Rogues Gallery after show
coming up for the next hour in one of our more premium, exclusive, and remote digital underground online pirate hideaways. Also, if you yourself have a new,
novel, intriguing, or otherwise underreported idea, unique individual, or pressing item in mind, be sure to either drop us a line directly over on WPRPN.com or fire us a quick email
via Pirate One Radio at protonmail.com.
We're always open to exploring fresh creative suggestions, intriguing guest ideas, cutting-edge discussion topics, and captivating themes.
Remember, WPRPN.com member site subdomain links are also always available.
Great for artists, musicians, podcasters, bloggers, social media personalities,
Or pretty much just any old land lover
looking to boost their online visibility, presence, and reach.
Basic personal profile accounts can be launched for just $60 per year.
Staking your claim now helps not only strengthen you and the network, we're also looking out for the little guy. That's right, folks. As much as half of all WPRPN's profits are redirected right back into the hands of the people who really need it most. Community charity. After all, we are the Robin Hood.
You can further embark on your own personal pirate journey by either liking, sharing,
Commenting on, subscribing to, or just following us via virtually any mainstream social media platform, including Twitter, Facebook,
Gab,
or Minds.com. So don't forget to become engaged. Until we meet again out on the high digital seas, I'm your host as always, the ship's Chief Communications Officer, Jeffy Ryder. Tally-ho.